Well, here it comes.
Crap. Started caught me in the freaking hot mic here. Jack, I was eating these David bars. You ever tried these out?
No, I haven't. Are they good?
Yeah,
What are
so
you
I
eating?
had I had blueberry pie. Yeah, I ate it in like 3 bites. Blueberry pie. This one's peanut butter, chocolate chunk. 28 grams of protein though, only 150 calories, but not
I'm
a
about to
bad
get
little
some.
snack to have. Yeah, I need some of those for football season because good
About to
Lord,
say.
during the season, my food like habits, it just all goes to crap.
Oh, it's
There's not enough
terrible.
time to, yeah. Like I think a typical Monday, let's see, I'm usually eating leftover pregame meal or whatever I can find from the week before. And I'm not picky at all. Like I'm sitting there microwaving crap that's 3 weeks old. And then if it's like early on and we hadn't had a game yet, it's just straight like peanut butter sandwiches and stuff. But thankfully I had time to run home for my lunch break last year. But what do you typically eat during football season?
I'm eating like crap pretty much. Yeah, I just get to a point where you're just so not drained. You don't have time for anything, and so the food is like the one little boost, a little pick me up. You're like, I'm gonna go.
A little dopamine,
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna get some of the clock for lunch. I'm gonna run real quick and get the clock, or I'm gonna do it now. I'm not helping the case because on Fridays during the season, I go to Bojangles. I call it game day biscuits.
hey,
I go to
whatever.
Bojangles and get, yeah, no, I mean, you got to get the Cajun filet, add egg, add cheese on that bad boy. And I get them for,
Yes.
all the coaches we have in the building. And just a little treat, kick game day off right. But no, I eat like crap, man. If it's not the school lunch, which is probably the most healthy thing I eat during the
Uh,
season,
uh.
it's, yeah, like you said, leftover pregame or like Whataburger after a game or Bojangle biscuit every Friday doesn't help. But
Well, the worst part is like when you're in season and like for us, especially we're going 2 practices a day, like I'm getting my steps in, like I'm sweating like a
yeah,
dog. It's August and we're doing, 20,000 steps a day or something crazy. I'm like, you know what? Whatever meal I decide I'm going to eat is going to be just like you said, I'm adding bacon to the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
load
I'm
it up.
like, yeah, I'm getting just nasty with it.
I'll
Like
burn it
I'll go
off.
to,
It'll be all right.
yeah, yeah, it's the rationale, right? I'm sitting there telling myself, oh yeah, I probably lost 8 pounds of sweat today. Like I'm good to eat this 20-piece meal from Wingstop
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what else shoots up during the season is caffeine intake. I am
Oh, dude,
hammering caffeine.
it gets bad, man. Like, it gets
Hammer.
so bad that I'm conscious of it. And whenever it's not football season, I try to like detox off of it, which is
Yeah.
terrible, by the way. Like, especially for me, like I go straight into basketball. So it ain't like I'm slowing down a ton. I'm just out of the heat a little bit, probably getting a few less steps. But, like, yeah, the caffeine intake. And we used to
Yes.
have, does your school, have the free coffee cart?
No, well, it ain't free. We have a coffee cart, but it's not free.
Oh, man, we had it made for we had a 3-year run. And I think it was around before that, but they had the life skills kids would come around. You could order a drink at every class period, and I would always order a black coffee and a cup of ice, or maybe an unsweet tea or something like that. And never failed. Like first 10 minutes of class, I hear that knock at the door. I'm like, oh, here we go, guys. And we had 8 classes a day or whatever it was, 8 sections a day, and so I taught 5 of them the first couple of years. So I had my pre workout in the morning, at least like 4 cups of coffee during the day, maybe probably an energy drink in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pushing like 1,200, 1,500
Oh, yeah.
milligrams of caffeine
Easy. And like,
easily.
so, the V8 energies,
Yeah.
the little silver can. So that's me trying to be, in the off season, I try to have one every morning.
Okay.
Every morning, off, that's all. And there's only like 80 milligrams in there. It's not too
It's not
much.
bad.
It's from green tea, so it's quote
Healthy,
healthy.
right? And you got the fruits and veggies in there. Like you're good.
Yeah, yeah. But meanwhile, during the season, I'm stocking the fridge in the coach's office with like Red Bull, Bang,
Man,
couple
yeah.
V8s, maybe if you want something light. And then I even bought a coffee pot. There's a coffee pot in our office at the school just for me and the weightlifting coach. We just go in the morning. I set it the day before. You roll up. That coffee's already brewed, ready to go.
Ooh,
Pour you a
that
fat
smell
cup.
too. That smell, man. Yeah, we just got a coffee pot, putting the new kitchenette out in the new athletics building where all our offices are. We're supposed to be moving into them full time, but yeah, it's gonna be dangerous, man. Like we had a coffee pot, it never got cleaned, and so
Yeah,
like
it's just
unless you were
seasoned.
really hurting, yeah, unless
It's
you were
just
really
seasoned.
hurting, not so many people were diving into it, but
I'll kill some coffee now. I'll crush it.
it
No,
gets
the coffee cart, we have one, and it's the same kind of setup y'all have. We have to pay, which is not a big deal. It's only like $4 or something. It's pretty cheap.
for a
But
coffee.
for like a not just like a black coffee. Black coffee is probably like $1.50.
Oh, okay.
For like a, latte, whatever you want to call it. Well, I got one time, and I guess I was feeling fancy because I'll normally just have black coffee, but I got I don't know, mocha frappiato, whatever you want to call it. I should
You're
have.
treating yourself.
Yeah, yeah, it was like $4. I'm like, why not? I'll have that for second block. That'd be great. Well, that thing comes, okay, and this was supposed to just be coffee, iced coffee with a little milk and maybe a little sugar, right? So it should be slightly lighter than milk chocolate. It shouldn't be super dark and it shouldn't be super light. This thing came in and just looked like milk, like just a cup of iced milk. I
Yeah,
took a
I'm
sip. I'm
lactose.
like,
I'm lactose intolerant. I'd be killed over dead if I had that.
luckily, I had a kid who was like jealous that I had got a coffee, and I'm like, take a sip. You want this? It's really good. And they were just like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. So they got rid of it for me. But no,
Those kids will drink anything. Every
yeah,
class period where kids coming from off campus or whatever, or their travel time or whatever, and they got a coffee. Like they're not drinking, just black coffee like God
no,
intended. It is like maybe this much coffee, and then it's
yeah,
just like cream or it's cold foam and
yeah,
cherry on top. These kids are getting like 90 grams of sugar in one drink.
yeah, yeah. And then they say, "Oh, I didn't have my coffee this morning." You mean you didn't have 80 grams of sugar to start the day? Like what? Like that's what
If
you're
you got
hurting from.
if you got more grams of sugar than milligrams of caffeine in your
Yeah,
coffee, like you got to reevaluate what you're doing.
these kids, what are they called? It's an energy drink. Alani. You ever heard of
Yeah,
those? They
those
crank
give me
those
headaches.
things, man.
Those give me
They crank.
headaches, man.
Well, then you look at the can and it's like 200 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, you're like 14 years old. I had so much energy when I was your age. Why do you need that at
All
8
natural.
in the
Dude,
morning?
I didn't drink coffee till college probably. And like even in high school, like we didn't do the pre-workout and all that kind of stuff. Like we did some of those V8 energies now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
No, those are classic. Pomegranate,
Yeah,
blueberry, V8 Energy.
those are good. Yeah. It's a classic one. But
I
nah,
remember first time I tried pre-workout. It was what was it called? NO Explode. Well, I had C4 obviously. C4 was like everybody had C4 back in the day.
everybody's had C4. Yeah. Everybody's had their time with it.
And I'm pretty sure they changed the formula since then. It was kind of like well, I won't go there, but I think they've changed the formula. And I remember we used to just like take it dry, just like a little scoop of powder and just chug
Yeah.
water behind it, get it down. And when I tell you, I'm like itching, like your skin gets itchy, and like I guess it's the blood flow is increasing because it's got like what is it, nitrous, not nitrous oxide, but whatever it is that expands your blood vessels, you keeps your blood pumping through. You start itching, man. You ready to go?
Every team's got that one kid on it that is like the pharmacist. They've got all the supplements,
Yeah.
they got all the I don't want to go put his name on blast, but
Yes. I
you
know
remember
that
Jack
is.
do you remember Jack 3D?
Yes.
You remember that pre-workout? So we go
Yeah.
down to were we going down to Abbeville? I can't
Think
remember where the
so.
game was. We were going down to Abbeville, small town, South Carolina. And not much tree coverage. Like we're out there and it's August, like, and we had old buddy, I think he's a year younger than me, but I think he's a little older than you. But anyway, on the bus ride there, he's talking about this Jack 3D stuff he's got. And like he can't wait to try it out before the game and all that. And yeah, this is like in the infancy of pre-workout days. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
whatever. And so I think he dry scooped it. Maybe he might have put it in a water bottle. I don't know, but like I think he had to get pulled out of the game like early on because he
His
just
heart
couldn't
was like at
like.
200 beats a minute, just like.
Yeah, it was pushing a little bit. Not a smart choice on his part.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not the same guy who was taking like the GNC Vita packs, where like it was like a custom designed blend of all these vitamins you take for you. And I'm like, dude's like 16. Like, what vitamins?
No,
Like, your hair's
yes,
not fitting.
yes,
Like, what do you need? But
yeah.
it
It
was just
was.
packed. It's like
I
8 of
think
them in there.
I think he also was taking those mass gainers where it's like one shake is 3,000
Yeah.
calories or something stupid. And he weighed like 120 and he just couldn't gain weight. So he's drinking these mass gainers and hammering the pre workout and obviously taking his vitamins and all that. Maybe put on 10 pounds. Like, if, oh man. Yeah, there's just that kid that, like, I don't know how much they're spending on supplements or whatever, but
A lot.
buddy, it ain't worth it, man. Like, get some sleep, and like just lift and enjoy life a little bit. No, man, some of these kids are crazy, but it's
I know.
hard to.
Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say it's hard to like as a coach now, like where you got to do, these long days and all that. It's hard to prioritize like stuff for your health. Like the last thing you
Yeah.
want to do is eat a salad after you've been sweating in the sun for 8 hours that day, and I don't know, man, it's
I want
tough.
some grease. Give me some grease. Like, sop this
Yeah.
up. Give me a
Yeah, give
biscuit.
me a little half fries, half onion rings with the bacon cheeseburger, like
Yeah.
all the ranch dipping sauces, extra mayonnaise on the burger.
And you know what
Nah,
else
but
sucks about getting older is that, like, okay, so I'll go, I don't know, Burger King for lunch, and I'll get they have the halvesies now. If you haven't tried, it's great. You get half fries, half onion rings
I didn't know that.
as
We
your
don't really have
side.
a Burger King near us, so I hadn't had
Burger
it on.
King hits sometimes. It's hit or miss, but it most of the time it's good. But I get those, right? And onion rings give me the worst heartburn in the world, and I don't care. I know they do, and I don't care. I still eat them. But like, I'll eat those for lunch. Go out practice that afternoon in like August when it's still hot, almost like 100 something, whatever the temperature is. I'm
Yeah,
sweating. I'm burning all over and inside, just like miserable. That's what sucks about getting older, which I've always kind of had heartburn, even when I was in high school. But yeah, I just can't do
yeah.
it, man.
It's tough. Like trying to eat decent, trying to get enough sleep, trying to spend some daggone time with the family. Balancing those 18-hour days is like ridiculous. Like, but we still sign up for it every single year. It doesn't get easier though. Like you said, the
Yeah,
older you get, the harder it gets. I
I'll
mean, I
tell you
just feel like,
the first thing I'll cut out is sleep.
no, I
My
got to get
sleep
my. I'm
is terrible.
9 o'clock. If it's not a Thursday or Friday, like I'm in bed at like 9 o'clock. Like I'm trying my best to get those 8 hours, get that 9 to 5. Alarm goes off at 5. Do my thing, but I try to prioritize the sleep, and then just balancing time with the family is tough. We just you got a brand new nephew now
I was
in the
about to say
family,
we got
so
some big news. I'm becoming an uncle
yeah,
for the
I'm
fourth
a dad
time.
again. Yeah, yeah, you got the
I guess, yeah,
suite
you're a
now,
dad
so
too. That's pretty big, I guess. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's some, but we had a little bit of a gap between this one and our next oldest one, the one that used to be the baby in the family. But man, I forgot like just how little sleep you get these
I,
first
I can
however
only
many
imagine.
days, and yeah, it's tough. Like I'm so used to, our kids are old enough to where they're getting, they're sleeping, doing their time, and I'm getting plenty of good sleep. Summertime, I get to sleep in a little bit. And now it's like every hour or two, like you just hear that baby crying and all that. I don't know. I'm hoping we kind of get through that by the time football season comes around, or I don't know what's going to suffer because of it.
That's gonna be
I've gotten
rough.
spoiled. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm hoping by that point maybe he's old enough to get a little longer of a sleep at night. Just give me like 4 hour shifts and I think we'll be good. But no, it's
Yeah.
exciting, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
congrats. I can't wait to meet him. I've been lucky enough to be the uncle for three great kids, and now I get to do it for a fourth. So I'm
I'm
excited
trying,
for
man.
you, man.
We just had our kids camp a week or two ago now, and my other two boys, they're now old enough where they're both doing the camp. And, my middle one, he's like super, he's going to do exactly what the coach tells him to do at the station. And he's going to, if you tell him a coaching point, he's going to go and try to fix it. My youngest one, the one that was the baby, man, he don't listen to nothing. We're sitting there doing a little tackling station. I'm like, all right, near foot, near shoulder, step into it, like throw your hips. And the middle one's got it. Like he's freaking making his dad proud. But then the youngest one gets up there and he's trying to give the sweet chin music to the step over pad or whatever. So I don't know what we're gonna get out of this one right here, but
You never
it'll be fun,
know.
man. Yeah, you
And
never know.
it's interesting because obviously we're siblings and it's only 2 of us. And, my girlfriend has 2 sisters, so there's 3 of them, and we always talk about how, the dynamics between youngest child, middle child,
Yeah.
oldest child, me and you, we just have oldest and youngest. They have oldest, middle, and youngest, and now we have 4, so I'm curious to see how that kinda, how
Yeah,
that breaks down.
we're gonna be the guinea pig on this one, but
Yeah.
nah, it'll be interesting to see just balancing all out during football season, how to make the time work and stuff. I mean, if it's a Monday or Tuesday and I'm getting home closer to 7, the kids, we try to get our kids to bed at before 9 o'clock, try to let them get some good rest. But it's tough balancing out that time. I know y'all ain't got any kids at the house, but how are you trying to make sure you balance out that time during the season with the missus?
Yeah, it's hard. Thankfully, she's a teacher and she's a coach. She coaches girls soccer, so she gets it. And she's very understanding, but I'm sure it still annoys her. But, Saturday's kind of our day where it's just us, no football, which I'll still watch college football, but
Oh, it's got to be on the TV.
yeah. And because Sunday we're doing film stuff, Monday through Friday, you're practicing or a game. And again, thankfully she understands because it kind of flips in the spring where, she comes home from work, makes sure the dogs are good and everything while I'm at practice. It flips. I do it in the spring so that she can do what she needs to do. But no, I'm sure it annoys her. But it's hard, man. You just gotta like there's nights where I'll come home after practice and I sit on the couch with her, we're just watching TV and I'm asleep in like 5 minutes. Like out.
It don't take long. It don't
Out
take
cold.
long,
And I'm sure that's frustrating, but no, you just
man.
gotta find the time, find a way.
Yeah, and I think, especially in season, it's more about making the time quality time. Like, even though you might not get the quantity, you're just trying to. And I always, I have that thought all the time. Like, am I spending enough time with my kids? Like, am I being present enough? And obviously, I try to make up for it when it's not football season and try to balance it out as much as I can. But I have this like worry that they're just gonna, hate
Yeah.
football because it's what kept dad away. But we were finishing up. We're doing all the award shows at the end of the school year with the kids, and my youngest one, it said, when he grows up, and I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, he's gonna say he wants to be like Spider-Man or something when he grows up. He said he said he wanted to be a football coach when he grew up. So it made my
Yeah.
heart happy a little bit to hear that
I was
he
about to
kind of.
say, at their age, I feel like that's not even a thought. They just wanna they think it's cool. If they get to go to the indoor and tackle some dummies or whatever when you're in there doing whatever, they probably eat
Yeah,
that up. Love it.
dude, I had him up there earlier. We were trying to get the kids out of the house for a couple hours and let my wife and the baby have some time to try to get the rest of the crew out. And so I take them over to the school, and I haven't worked out since last Friday. It's been almost a week or whatever, just like not doing anything. Like we just been basically on a couch in the hospital or whatever with the baby. I haven't moved probably more than like 600 steps in a week or whatever. So I get in there, I'm trying to get a sweat in, and I just look out, and the kids are like, my youngest is setting up little cones, and he's like
Yeah.
doing little weave drills, and my older two have got plates, and they're doing like farmer carries up and back on the indoor, and they're
Yeah.
doing the box jumps and all that. Like you said, they're having the time of their life. They found
Yeah,
a
and
5 minute sled down there, and they're not going to piss out of it.
yeah, and, I think obviously, I mean, I don't have children yet, but our some of our coaches do, and they'll come to, like, summer workouts, just to, because whatever reason, but they're there, and it's almost like they have and I know we're a smaller school, smaller town, so it may be a little different, but it's almost like they have X amount of older brothers there. They're
Yeah,
hanging out with the guys and joking around, playing with the guys, and I think it's good for everybody because
yeah,
it kinda reinforces that these high school kids are role models to people, whether they think they are or not, and it also those younger kids love having, old quote, "older brothers" or guys they look up to just to hang around with, play around with, whatever. So I think it's good. I don't think you got nothing to
especially
worry
since
about.
uh especially since they come to the games on Friday. If it's a home
Yeah.
game, my wife's being a trooper and she's bringing them out, and so they see those guys that, yeah, like you said, they might see at practice if they came by practice one day that week. And they go see them doing their thing on the field on Friday night, and the whole crowd's there and go like they look up to those guys so much, like
Yeah.
you said, as older brothers. Shoot, I had a linebacker last year. He's at A&M now. Hopefully gonna get some playing time for him this year. But my youngest, you know, obviously through teaching and stuff, you tell stories about your kids and all that, and then they come to practice and they meet them and stuff. And yeah, this guy, like, he's at A&M now. He's like a 4-star prospect. He's a dude. He looks like, you know, he's all yoked up and stuff. But man, he's so good with my youngest. Like, always give him fist bumps and asking how
Yeah.
he's doing. And shoot, sometimes I gotta tell my little one like to be the nice one in the situation
Yeah.
because you know he's like off doing whatever he's doing. Yeah, they look up to those guys, and you know if they see him playing on TV or something, if we're watching A&M game this season, and he sees him out there, I'll be able to tell him like, "Look, dude, he's one fist bumping you like all the time last year and trying to talk to you and stuff." And I know,
Yeah, and they probably love it, man.
oh, they'd be eating that up.
Yeah, it's good. They,
Yeah,
I think it's good for them to see too. Just good to be a part of something like a football program or any sports team, really. I think it's just good for
yeah.
them to see.
Let them know how a good cohesive unit all works together and stuff. And
Yeah,
plus,
yeah,
when they get old enough, it's free help.
yeah,
We were talking not too long ago about you just made a purchase and now you're trying to find some help for practice. You said you bought a
yeah,
drone?
yeah. So bought a, can't remember the name, but it's a drone, a 4K video drone, and it's got a, I don't know if I'm saying it right, a gimbal, gimbal, like a stabilizer thing. You know, the people
Okay.
that walk around. I bought one of those,
Yeah.
the stabilizer thing for your phone. And the drone has one built in to where you can get some cool aerial shots and, you know, stuff to make some content and trying to push our football social media accounts because the kids love it and I think it's good exposure. It's just cool to have that kind of interaction. Social media is where kids are at nowadays, so it's kind of cool to reach them at that level. And B, you know, kind of doing whatever we can do to try to get some more, not really advertising money, but donations coming in because these kids need a lot, and you know the money's not necessarily always there to get it, and so we
And it
try to
don't get
find.
cheaper.
No,
Definitely
it
doesn't
doesn't.
get cheaper.
And so we're trying to find ways to get money where we can. And so if you know, hey, if you own a business and you're listening, I'll be happy to slap your logo on any of our videos we put out. Just saying. But no, we're going to keep doing it. And the drone we can also use for filming some practice stuff, filming some 7-on-7s. And again, if you go to Palmetto High School and this is something you want to help us with, I can take care of you. I'll find a way to get you some gear, feed you, whatever I can do. If you want to come out and help, fly a drone, film some practice for me, come on. All right. Just let me know. Email me at my school email. I'll be happy to get it set up. All right.
Man, we had our ROTC the first 2-3 years I was here. Our ROTC had a fleet of drones and they would come out. I think they had to get a certain amount of time working with them and stuff for something they were doing in their program. So they would bring them out to practice and they'd film all of our, like you said, 7-on-7s, team periods, all that with the drone cam. That is some great footage, dude. It's like you
Yeah.
just can't beat that aerial view. But like you said, it's just all about finding help. Like you don't want to tie a coach doing that. Like we're trying to
Right.
coach, you know.
Yeah.
But if you got like student managers that you trust flying the drone, or you know, our RTC handled it for us. They stopped doing it about a year or two ago, but I don't know if it was manpower or maybe the loan, drones were on a lease or something. I really don't know all
Yeah.
the
Maybe.
details, but
But I mean, hey, I got the 2-year protection plan. So don't worry. If you've never flown a
hey,
drone before, it's protected. We got it covered. It's insured. But no, yeah, it'd be nice to have some help just so,
that's
like you
a
said, we don't have to
I think
pull a
it's a
coach.
pretty good idea, though. Pretty good idea for getting some revenue and some donations. You know, if you do, you know, obviously if you get your practice film and stuff like that, but you know, if you get some good shots and all that, and you get some good content, like you were saying, you know, I think social media is just kind of a part of the game nowadays.
Yep.
And there's so many things about coaching that aren't necessarily on the field anymore. Like it's just this total
Yeah.
package thing off the field on it. Especially if you got to worry about like your kids transferring in or out or
Yep. Yeah.
whatever. You want to go put a good product out there, put some good content out there,
Yeah.
showing off your program and all the things you do. And
Yeah.
yeah, shoot, you get probably some good shots of summer workouts and stuff going on too.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some cool aerial shots. There'll probably be a video coming out soon. I'll say that soon. Um, may already be out by the time this gets out, but yeah, it'll be good. I think we're going to try to do, you know, offensive, defensive, special teams players of the week. Try to get some advertising on there, presented by whoever. Um, but no, yeah, and it's nice at the bare minimum, draw some interest towards our program. It's a win. We may
Yeah,
not get
yeah,
some money, as much money as we wanted. We may not get the best practice film that we needed. But if it helps get kids interested in the program,
Yeah,
invested in the program,
it's what
I'm
it's
all
all
for it.
about, you know. You know,
All for it.
I think something you could do too is I saw a school, I think it was Prosper High School out here, really big 6A, really nice area north of Dallas. But they had like, I guess for some of their new coaches that got hired on, they were putting some clips out on their social medias, kind of like they had a little podium set up and it had
Yeah.
like a little Coke bottle and a Gatorade there. Yeah, obviously they're not like sponsored or whatever you want to call it, but they might be. I really don't know. But just kind of getting some, just filming the coaches talking about how practice went that day, or if they're a new hire, they're just kind of telling a little bit of their story or
Yeah.
background on them and just stuff like that. You're putting it out there and you're raising awareness about your program. And, like you said, you're creating some buy-in, some connections there. I know some of the old heads might hate it because that ain't how it was always done and stuff. But that's
It's the
kind of
way
the
it
world
is
that we
now.
live in. Yeah, these kids, they especially within the NIL area, like they're tying money to everything or exposure to everything. And so I think what you can do to help put your program out there. That's one of the reasons why I kept doing my vlogs was obviously it caught fire and ton of views like that first half a year that I did it or whatever. And then you would go to a coaching convention or something and somebody would come up to you and ask like, are you that guy that does the TikToks of whatever? And you're just like, I get kind of embarrassed. Like I've never liked to be one in the spotlight or anything like that. But yeah, they just talk about how cool they think it is, or they heard me talk about something that we do with our guys and our schedule and stuff. And they're taking it back to their school and they're going to try to implement something like that. It's just amazing what ideas can kind of get spread and what you can kind of put your brand out there. And the first year I was out here, it was that COVID year, like we didn't win a game. Starting quarterback was hurt game one. You got half the team out with COVID throughout the season. They had to change the schedule in the middle of the year, and so you end up playing the harder teams twice for some reason. And I mean, it's just wild. So you go from that where you're kind of just this outlier, and then through social media and just us having some success and all that, and it's kind of put our name out there some. And shoot, we'll get kids that transfer in because their parents move to town or get a job somewhere, and it's one of the first days at practice, and they'll be like, "Hey, I remember seeing you putting a video about something about the school that we're at," and I don't know, it's just cool, like the things that you don't realize people are seeing, and
Yeah.
again, you're building that brand for your school. If it helps you guys get some donations and stuff, like the kids enjoy it, it gives them some pride about what they're doing. Yeah, I think it's a win, like you said. I don't know how
And
much you spent on the I don't know how much you spent on the drone, but maybe
well,
you can
you
get
look, you know how I am. It's like this podcast. Once I kind of start something, I'm invested in it heavily,
yeah,
and I'm doing it. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. 100, like everything. The
yeah.
new mic stand. I got lights all in my office at the house. Like I don't know why. That's just who I am. And we don't have any children yet, so we don't have to worry about any of that yet. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I think it'll be good. And I'm not saying who knows. Maybe it'll take off and we'll be
Well,
getting
y'all could
creator fund
do
money. I don't know, but
yeah, y'all could do like player interviews after practice, like a
yeah, yeah,
practice player of the day, and then like you said, if a local business decides that they want to if they want to do the practice player video, if you do one 3 days a week for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then that gives them, you got 10 weeks. So that gives you what, 30 videos. And you say, all right, well, hey, let's say it's $5, $10 a video. Like now you got $300, hopefully going to the football program and all that. And maybe y'all can cover the cost of some for the
yeah,
kids or whatever. I mean, you never know. Every little bit adds up.
yeah. Every little bit definitely helps.
You could do like a sub varsity player of the game just to get another piece of content, the kids and the parents are going to share it out. So
Yeah,
that's how you sell it to the local business. Like, hey, the local pizza joint in town, you can do a Thursday night video for $5 a video. They're going to play 10 games. So $50 and we'll
yeah.
add your little logo to I don't know, to the watermark or something. And I'm just throwing ideas out there.
No, and the interview thing, we plan on doing that. And it's just fun. I enjoy doing it. The kids enjoy it. Worst case, we don't get any money and we just have fun doing it. I'm good with
Hey,
that. I can
I'm
live
good with
with
that
that.
too, man. Yeah. That's what it's all
Cause
about, having fun.
Yeah, it's having fun. The kids like it, and that's the main thing. That's why I do it for them. And, sure, it eats up a little bit of my time at home. I'm sitting here trying to edit, like almost 30-year-old, trying to figure out how to work TikTok and CapCut templates and all this stuff. But, I'll do it
It's
for
like
y'all.
it's like muscle memory though, man. Like I just realized I've been doing my little vlog thing on TikTok for I think this will be the third or fourth year doing it. You know, the algorithm's weird. So like every so often a video will go crazy and somebody will comment and be like, man, I remember watching your videos my freshman year and now I'm about to graduate. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy how it kind of just blows up from there and you never know where it could take you. But I remember the very first time it all started with my wife just asking me how my day was. And so I was just kind of tired of having to tell her everything I did in the day. And so I just remember taking little clips of everything I did that day and we put it all together. And I remember it taking me forever, like learning how to record my
Yeah.
voice and doing the captions and all that. But now, man, like when I get home, I can have it done in like 5, 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it becomes muscle memory.
And fortunately, I am sort of, technologically inclined. Like I can pick up on that kind of stuff quick. I don't always, because I was a tinkerer when I was a kid, I would take stuff apart and just like figure it out, which
Yeah.
probably drove mom and dad mad. But so yeah, I've noticed the same thing even from just the short time I've been posting some of these on TikTok. And you're right, it does become just like a boom, boom, boom. It's done. Schedule it, whatever, and it's ready to go. But yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited. I get to use the new toys. That's always fun.
Hey, and if you get that sports management class, you could just offload some of that. Like, hey, here's an hour worth of video, chop it up. Everybody's got to turn in, a clip, and then you get to go put their put their products out there. If it passes, your kind of eye test, like, and now your classes kind of feel like they're bought into it and they're contributing some to it.
And
Because
I think
that's you
that
look at
that's a great thing to have. The
yeah,
kids in the school are bought into your programs, your extracurriculars, whatever. And it's just, I think that's a great thing to do. And we're working on it. They don't get me started on all that, but hopefully it's in the works. And part of it, I actually wanted to do a podcast through the school, like have
yeah,
whoever wants to, a teacher or another student, whatever, as part of that class. But yeah, no, that's hopefully coming soon. But I think it would be great, and it gets kids invested in their own school and invested in their fellow classmates, which I think is only a great thing.
absolutely, yeah.
So we'll,
Well,
we'll
shoot,
see.
what's some of those? What's the Instagram? What's the TikTok? All that for
Yeah.
Palmetto football
So
coming up.
on TikTok, and I probably should get these all having the same username. TikTok is just Palmetto Football. We were able to secure that
Easy,
username.
lock it down.
Instagram is PHS Mustangs FB. All right. You'll see the horseshoe when you search it. We have a Facebook. It's not as active. You'll still be able to find all our clips. They're all going to be put out there on there. Just look up Palmetto Football on Facebook. And Twitter is PHS Mustangs FB. And I might change some of these, try to get them all the same username to make it simpler. But search PHS Mustangs FB or just Palmetto Football and you'll find us. Look for the red background, white horseshoe. You'll see it.
Yeah, get it streamlined a little bit, and they'll know they're in the right spot. But no, I mean, talk about raising money and stuff. Thankfully, that's not necessarily in my jurisdiction. Thankfully, we got great community support out here, and our boss, that's kind of what has to fall into his lap is helping raise funds and managing that budget and stuff. But we do a golf tournament. I know that usually does really well, and we usually do that. Actually, I think it's coming up here in the next couple weeks, but we do the golf tournament, and then we actually host the biggest powerlifting meet in the state of Texas, usually every February sometime, and we'll get like 400 something lifters from who knows how many schools, and they pay their entry fees, and we sell plates of burgers and all that. And we make a good bit for that, and that obviously goes and gets divvied out and stuff how it needs to be. Yeah, there's just so many ways. You talk about raising money. Like I don't think you can ever find enough avenues to try to maximize the funds for the program and just trying to make sure you can keep things rolling. Like we talked about, it doesn't get any cheaper. These helmets, we talking about it last week or in the week before. These new helmets, man, are like $800 a pop. It's crazy.
And we talked about this too. We just issued helmets earlier this week. And one of the first questions this kid asked me We getting the F7s. We getting the F7s. I'm like, these are the
Ah, the
same helmets,
F7.
dude. They just got reconditioned. It's the same helmet. We didn't buy new helmets. All right. And then another kid comes up. He goes, "Oh, is that an Axiom?" No, dude, it's a Speed Flex. What makes you think we just bought one Axiom? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that would just open up more can of worms. Like, who's going to get the
Yeah.
one like
Right.
Axiom helmet or the one F7? Like,
Yeah.
if you can't buy a chunk of them and give it to the seniors or returning starters or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, it's like, dude, share our TikTok videos, get it out there, and maybe we'll get some money to get some Axioms. But like,
Heck yeah.
we do a fundraiser and you texted me to help donate. I'm like, I'm already donating a lot. All right. You need to find
Yeah,
other people to donate.
yeah, you just bought a drone for the program.
Yeah.
I guess in your off time though, you can just fly the drone around. That's a pretty
Oh
good
yeah.
little
I mean,
hobby. Some people get all into that.
I've always wanted one anyway, so it was kind of a win-win.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
But nah,
It'll be
shoot.
fun.
Nah. What y'all got going on this summer? I know you talked about I guess y'all just handed out the helmets and stuff because I know y'all get to wear them across the summer and do 7-on-7 and stuff. How's the summer shaping up for you guys?
Good. We just got our, I guess, preliminary kind of maxes this week, kind of starting points for our, 8-week program so we can see where we're at in about 8 weeks. But yeah, we got the helmets out. We'll be able to go Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30. We lift, we'll do a little conditioning, go do some field work, which is great. A lot of time throughout the summer to get some stuff in. Weren't able to get on the field this week because of the weather. It was gross and rainy here. Field was soaked, but we'll be able to get out there next week, and it's pretty good. And on a personal note, we're actually going to Greece later this summer.
Ooh, all right.
My girlfriend and I, we're going to Athens and either Mykonos or Santorini, one of the islands out there. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, so that'll be a nice break,
Is
kind of in
this
the
the
middle of the summer. But
is this the first time you've gone abroad? You ever been out of the country before?
I've never been out of the country before, so my passport just got approved. So this will be the first time I'm leaving the old states.
Man, all right. Taking it international, dude.
Excited, but I'm not excited for that flight, man. That's like a
How long a
10-hour
flight
flight.
is it?
10 hours.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Now,
Sheesh.
I don't know about you. I'm not small. I'm not built for these airplane seats. So
Nobody is anymore.
I wasn't flying economy, not doing it. So I got shout out Norse Atlantic. It's like I don't want to say Spirit because they're better than Spirit. Low cost airline,
There you
international
go.
airline.
A good
So
value international airline.
yeah, so I got first class, low cost airline
Dang, you can't
seats.
hide money.
Now it
That's
looks
the
like basically recliners. You get it
that's the no
reclined.
kid life. You're getting a spring for the first class.
Yeah, well, not like Delta One or nothing. Those were like 15,000 whatever. I ain't doing that. These were affordable, which is great. I highly recommend it. Well, let me go on the flight first, and then I'll tell you if I recommend it. But so I'll be comfortable for 10 hours, and then we'll go see some of the ancient Greek landmarks, historical stuff. That'd be awesome. And then go down to the islands, enjoy some good weather. But yeah, no,
Nah, that'll
it's
be
gonna be a good
awesome, dude.
summer. It's gonna be a good
Heck
summer.
yeah, shaping. That's like last year. We went to Mexico, which I can't imagine is anything like Greece. I mean, we went to a really nice place in Mexico. I had a grand old time. It was one of those all inclusives or whatever, where
Yeah.
like, and we were down there for a wedding, and so my wife was having to like do wedding stuff throughout the day. But I was just getting up when I got up. I'd go straight down to the beach. I'm not a big reader, but I was kind of in a reading mood. I had my little Kindle. I was asking the fellow if he could bring me something to drink on, and
And a filet
just
mignon, please.
and
Like
a
bring me
filet
that.
mignon every meal I could get. Yeah, ribeye, filet mignon, whatever I get my hands on. I just remember, like, and we flew Frontier Spirit, and we
Yeah.
flew the cheapest ticket I could find. Uh, you hear some things about when you go international about who to talk to, who not to talk to, like,
Right.
where to go, where not to go. And so we get off the airplane in Cancun's airport, and I remember hearing like, "Hey, you're going to get hounded by all kinds of like taxi companies and travel companies like on your walk out." And I don't know what I was imagining. I don't know if I thought the cartel was going to come get me of all people as soon as I stepped off the plane. But I was like, I was a big baby. I was like clutching the
Yeah.
wallet, like had my wife like stay tight, be close. And sure enough, we're kind of cutting through, and it really wasn't that bad. We kind of just walked right by people that maybe were trying to flag
Yeah.
us down. But we get on the little transport to get to the resort, And I remember one of my worries was like getting on the right transport,
Yeah.
hopping in some random car instead of the one we're supposed to be on. And we get on the right one, and we go driving through Cancun. I don't know what I was picturing. I guess I thought like the cartel was gonna have heads on spikes,
Yeah.
like
And
as
then
we're
you
driving
drive
through.
through a
Nah,
gate and it's a resort.
yeah, no, it was super super nice. Yeah, we made it
Yeah.
through the little city park, got the resort. Of course, I was not leaving the resort once I got there. I'm like, this is already paid for. This is all inclusive. I ain't going nowhere. But it was a good time, man. But I would imagine Greece is going to be a heck of a
Yeah.
time too.
We've always talked about it, so I'm excited. You know, that reminds me, one thing I'm bad at, you talked about going through not the crowd, but just walking past the people who are trying to, talk to you, whatever. We went to Walmart and it happens like every time now. Spectrum, they got a guy chilling in the electronics department just
I
waiting
hate
for me.
that.
So,
I
hey
hate
man, how you
that.
doing today? And I'm so bad. So my girlfriend's from Massachusetts. I guess the big city living, she's used to just walking by somebody talking to you. I feel bad doing that. And so I'm like, good man, how are you? And then he's like, what internet do you have? And I'm like looking for a logo, like, let me just say what he's working for. So I'm like, Spectrum. And he goes, oh, nice, nice. And I'm like, yeah, so I guess you already got me, huh? And he goes, yeah, what's your mobile carrier though? And I'm like, he's like, can I
Walk
interest
away.
you in a fan? I'm like, not today, man. I'm sorry. And it happened with pest control too. Dude came to the door, caught me as I was getting out of my truck coming inside. He's like, hey man. I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? Talking about pest control. Like, I ain't never paid for pest control in my life, but he got me to sign up for a year contract.
I used to be just like you. Like I just couldn't be a jerk. I know that guy's just trying to work and
Yeah.
make a living too. So I just didn't want, but man, I've gotten old and I've gotten grizzly, and it could be girls selling Girl Scout cookies. I'm blowing right by them. Like, unless I know I'm already going to buy the Girl Scout cookies because I buy Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
But
I'm stopping every time for the Girl Scout
yeah,
cookies.
but I will walk right by them. But you just never know nowadays. Some people, man, especially outside the grocery stores and the Walmarts and all that, they could be running some scam, like for all you
Yeah.
know, and taking
I
your
just,
Venmo and I don't know, charging it for something. But
luckily, the older I get, the more, I guess, not distracted, but I'm just like looking at other stuff and I don't even hear people talking to me half the time. So luckily that helps. But Spectrum guy in Walmart, it's gotten to the point where I will literally walk down the office supplies aisle, take a left, like reroute around him just so I don't have to deal with it. Cause
that's yeah.
bothers me to
Nah,
death.
you just got to flip the switch and just be like, nah, man, I'm good, and just like
Like,
keep going. Like
I'm about to just start being a jerk to him. Just be like, don't talk to me, dude. Like, no,
I
don't
think you
talk
just
to
say
me.
I'm not interested. Like I think they kind of understand too. Like if they're ever in the store or something, they know how it is. Like I don't even think half the time they want to be in that position that they're in. They
Probably
just
not.
it's just a job description. But
Let me tell you, the
nah,
pest control guy, he got me. He got me good. Let me tell
he
you,
got
because
you on the hook.
I even said I was trying to get out of it, trying to get out of it. I listened to his whole spiel because I felt bad. And I was like, yeah, I probably can't make a choice until, the missus gets home. I have talked about it with her. Well, sure enough, here she comes pulling up. And I'm like,
Bad time.
and so he's like, well, this looks like her right here. And I'm like, all right.
Dang.
Anyway,
So
so
he got you on the hook.
I finally just said, all right, man, let's do it. But he finessed me because it was a year contract
No, dude.
of like X amount a month. And you can't, if you cancel early, it's like a few $100s to cancel it. And I'm like, I thought he was a good dude. He ain't a
Nah,
good
he
dude.
got you. He got you. Yeah, that's a racket, man.
He better hope I don't see
Golly.
him walking around the neighborhood again because I got words for him because we still got pests like mosquitoes, whatever in the backyard. They say
Yeah.
they spray, but they didn't do nothing. I don't know what they're talking about. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. The
yeah,
our summer, I guess, especially with the newborn and all, it's gonna be pretty low key. But we go to SMU for 7-on-7 next week, I believe. So that's one of the few 7-on-7 things that we really do. We're not too huge on it. So we'll do that next week, and we start our summer workouts next month or Monday. And so we're kind of just getting it rolling. We basically had this week off. Normally, this is the week that we do our kids camp, but
yeah,
we did it the week before just to try to give everybody a week off. And we have to get professional development hours and stuff like that throughout the summer. But thankfully, with coaching, I get a lot of my hours between our coaching PD days and then our big coaching convention that they do in Texas. every July called Coaching School. It's put on by the Texas High School Coaches Association, and this thing's a big deal, Jack. It's one of my favorite things to go to. Normally, it's in San Antonio. I think there was a year or two where they had it in Houston. But I love San Antonio, man. And we go down there, and I swear there's always about 15,000 coaches down there because it's every sport.
Okay. Yeah.
It's every sport, and you figure the state's got 8,000 schools. So,
Yeah.
if every school's got 20 coaches or whatever the number is, it's a big number. But
They got a bunch of vendors out there handing out free stuff.
that's actually, they got a big exhibit hall where you go get all the freebies. You can go check out all the stuff. They got a huge turf area set up where they're usually doing demonstrations, and they got all the classrooms or conference rooms or whatever throughout the conference center set up. And they got across all sports, they've got different topics getting covered every hour of the day. And one of my favorite things that they do, it's a 3-day deal or a 2-day deal, 2.5-day deal. One of my favorite things they do though is they get, I think it's usually that first night, they'll get a panel that's all the FBS schools in Texas, their head coaches up there, and they're just taking questions from the crowd. There's always some good nuggets that they get shared, but it was like a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, on the morning. It was the last morning of the event, but just out of the blue, Nick Saban was there and gave this big keynote speech, and it was really cool. Just they usually do it really big, and so that's our big thing in terms of coaching conventions and all that throughout the year. I don't know if y'all do it in the summer. Do y'all have anything similar that you guys go to coaching?
It sounds similar to the high school league. South Carolina does the all sports clinic. It's in Greenville. It rotates, I think, but it's kind of the same thing where all the coaches of all sports go, and it's similar. You have the vendors giving out the freebies and the different meetings and that kind of thing. It's probably not as big, obviously, as the one in Texas, but then we also have the football coaches clinic every year in like February in Myrtle Beach.
I've been to that one.
That
I've
one's
been
a
to that
good
one.
time.
Actually, I think the one I went to was for the North-South game, but it was still in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, because they play that at like North Myrtle, I think, is where they play that game.
Yeah, man, I remember we went to that and we were doing a recruiting expo, and so you were able to go down there. I don't think you had to have a player in the game, but they did it. You could just drive down there and do the recruiting expo. And so me and one of the other coaches, we're kind of sitting there working the table. We got our prospect sheet and we got, computers ready to show highlight tapes and stuff. I remember towards the end of it, I won't say the company because I guess it's all good, but they were handing out tickets for social hour.
Yeah.
And the tickets, equated to one beverage. And so I remember every coach got 2 tickets. And so we go in there and we're just kind of talking, mingling, having a good time. And it quickly turned into like coaches were pawning off their tickets.
Yeah.
There's some coaches that weren't feeling thirsty or anything like that. And I just remember like several tickets later, it was a good time, man. That was a good thing.
No, that's definitely definitely a good time at the Myrtle Beach clinic. I remember this past time we went, you're in Myrtle Beach, dirty Myrtle.
Dirty Myrtle, baby, the dirtle.
Yeah, like we stopped going to Myrtle when we were in our teens. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But you go back now and you just feel kind of trashy. I'm not hating on it. It's a good time, but it's kind of trashy in some parts. But you're at like the boardwalk, so it's not a bad area. And we went to this Japanese steakhouse, where they cook in front of you, that kind of thing. Don't know why we always go there. We go there every year, but we went and a vendor, I won't put him out there, but a vendor came in, walking in. I think they had just left the social because it looked like they were having a good time. We talked, whatever. Well, we eat. They're at a different table, and at the end of the night, they bring the bills to the whole table, and then they don't bring ours. And we're just like, "Hey, we need to pay too, or whatever." He goes, "No, yours has been taken care of." And we're just like,
"Hey, that worked out."
Like, all right,
those are the best, man. When you're getting wine and dined by a company, like
wine and dine me all you want, man. I still might not buy it, but
we had it was one of my first couple years on the job. We had I think they did apparel. It was like a local company that was trying to get into the apparel game, doing all the screen printing and all that. And they were trying to lock down contracts on schools in the upstate or whatever it was. And they said that it was going to be at Top Golf, and we had like this 2 or 3 hour window at Top Golf. And I remember we get there and straight up asked the guy like, what's what's kind of covered, what's not, and the guy just simply said like, for the next 2 hours, like, just have a good time, let's talk and all that. And
Yeah,
I don't know what the bill wound up being, but
probably a lot.
a lot. But he said he had like 5 schools that day, so that guy was at Top Golf for like 10 straight hours. And I don't know what the competition was looking like, but we had to be up there on how much money we cost this
Yeah.
guy. But we bought some shirts. He wound up making some money off of us,
Just
but
to be
I doubt
clear,
it.
there was no quid pro quo. We did not agree to anything in return. This wasn't
No,
below
no,
board.
no,
But
no. This was
your man's got to eat. That's
it
all
was
that man's got to
it
eat.
was a good, informative meeting. It just happened to be at Top.
And it's a write off for them. And like it doesn't
Yeah,
affect. It's a write off. It's not a
it's
big
a
deal
write
for them.
off. He got some T-shirts and all that done, and
Yeah.
they were great T-shirts and all that. So
They're trying to
it all
sell
worked
us
out.
on this product, and it's like, buddy, we can't afford that. But keep talking, keep talking. Go ahead, that's
Keep
fine.
talking. Make that cheese fries. Come on
Yeah,
out.
right.
Like, let's get it going. Add
Yeah,
bacon.
yeah.
Add bacon and steak. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll do.
Need 3 extra ranches. Yeah, the ranches are $1 a piece. Bring 5.
Yeah,
Like, it'll be all right.
thought they were more than that.
Uh,
Okay,
man, nah, you can't beat it. But
no, you can't.
there's some perks of the job that you gotta see the glass half full and make them your own. But nah, it's a good time. But well,
Definitely is.
shoot, I think we're hitting our hour mark, Jack. I appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate yours. You're the new father here. I mean, I got all the time in
Yeah,
the world. It's summer break.
I'm probably about to head into the other room and get down and dirty in a diaper or something here in a second. But it's gonna be all right.
I've done that
It's gonna
once
all
in
be
my
good.
career as an uncle once, and I don't ever want to do it again. That was brutal.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That was
especially like when
brutal.
they're newborns. It's just straight
Yeah.
lava poop. But
Oh, it's
it's gonna be all
brutal,
right.
man.
He's a good dude. I'm hoping he turns out decent like the rest of my kids.
He
But
will. He'll be good. He'll be good.
yeah,
I'm
we'll see.
excited to meet him.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, hey guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in again. New episodes every Sunday of Fourth and Ward. And we're available wherever you get your podcasts, or if you watch the videos on YouTube, we appreciate that. As always, don't be afraid to drop a comment. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe and hit that 5-star review button. And tell your friends, tell your coaching buddies, tell your friends that you played high school football with, because we feel like some of our conversations really resonate a lot out there with the football community. But we
And
appreciate your time, guys.
find Palmetto Football on whatever social media. Give us a follow, give us a share, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, they are fielding sponsors. Take it easy,
Yep.
guys.